Hey folks, Rob back with another Rob Plays, and this week we've got the C64 conversion of R-Type. I wanted to take a look at this for a couple of reasons. One of those is I've seen quite a number of occasions in recent memory where people have gotten some of the facts wrong. So R-Type has quite an interesting dev history on the 64. If you haven't already read it, I strongly recommend you go hunt down, you go and download, because it's a free download, Bob Pape's It's Behind You. He was the author of the Spectrum version of R-Type, and he talks a lot about the development, his experiences developing that, but at the same time, he also has some reference to the 64 development and the ST development, because they were done by the same team at Catalyst. Teams at Catalyst. So ultimately what happened is that version was canned because there's a lot of problems. They had getting sprite multiplexing working. For what it's worth, there's a bunch of builds were leaked out, and they're on the Games That Weren't website. I'll pop a description on screen and below. But of course, when Catechus happened, Catechus I should say, that was released. Activision had an injunction pulled on Rainbow Arts, and eventually got in touch with them and have them finish the conversion in 6 weeks. Space to load it. So, you have to remember that this version of R-Type was written in 6 weeks. And I've always thought it was a good title for that. I know other people don't like it, and it's certainly not as good as it could have been. I know some people say, they compromised with Catechus. No, they didn't. They ultimately shoehorned R-Type in. But anyway, let's start. So let's flip disc 2. Yes, you actually see the 1541 Ultimate UI there. So if you know the story, the Bido Empire have attacked the biomechanical forces, and you come to save the day in your R9 fighter. So I generally liked R-Type. It's a tough shooter, I'm not great at it, but hopefully I can at least get through the first stage. I mean, I look at this now, and for 6 weeks, I always think it's come out pretty nice. It's flawed, and it is very flawed, as we'll see later on. I think the graphics are a nice translation onto the 64. Andreas Escher did a nice job there. The music, of course, is amazing, and truth be told, I liked the SID covers a lot more than the original arcade game music. Controls are responsive, and everything... And I'm playing utterly rubbish. But that's real hardware for, I'm not cheating with an emulator. Run this off my real C64. With all that entails, with real nice clicky joysticks. Maybe I should just cheat and use autofire. I'm using the original disc images of the game dumped. Let's go have another game. That's utterly rubbish. Yeah, sorry about the tone there. I think that's the downside of... But we did terribly. It is a limitation with... I think it's just the way, the way the Ultimate interrupts too. But that music. Alright, let's do this again. I wondered whether I should have just used the tape version. I can't remember what the multi-load's like on that. I tend to play off the disc or a cracked version for the sake of sanity. Alright, so I might shut up and try and play through this. Because I had to warm up earlier, but that was emulated. So... Anyway. Yes, I've just turned autofire on because I've gotten impatient. Alright, first force pod. So of course here, the lack of a second fire button means that it's spacebar to control the force pod. I always love the force pod, acts as a shield. That's always handy. Try not to mess up this. I mean, okay. we've got our speed up. I mean, of course, this is the first section where, you know, it was compromised for 6 weeks. And it's worth noting that... and it's worth noting that in the version of Stage 1 from the Catalyst's version, it actually does... In the version of Stage 1 from the Catalyst demo, it does actually, they actually do the proper rotation there. So, it really is a case of, you know, the version from this being done in 6 weeks. You know, as I've said, you know, 6 weeks is, when you think about it, even now, doing a game in 6 weeks is tough, right? Working full-time, you're probably on permanent crunch. So, to be honest, right, and I'll give you a good reference point. Double Dragon, which is another unmitigated disaster on the C64, which is an actual disaster on the C64, was also written in 6 weeks. And this is playable. It's buggy, it's flawed, and I won't deny that. But it's actually playable. I think if you bought R-Type, you know, you spent 29 Australian dollars in 1988 to buy it on tape, or 39 to buy it on disc. Right? Remember, Australia, we had a lot more disc drives in the UK, like in other parts of Europe. I think you would have gotten your value. I mean, as a kid, I enjoyed this quite a lot. It's not the best. I think it pales compared to the likes of Salamander. You know, it compare, like, in terms of arcade conversions, it is no Salamander. Right? And even Salamander, you know, Salamander is missing levels because the company that was funding the development went bust, so they had to recoup costs. Which is why it's missing 2 of the 6 levels. But I generally find this a good version. I would rate this probably a 7. You know, I say it's worth playing. I say it's worth checking out. But ultimately, you know, you probably do want to play Catechus or Daenerys, depending, you know, or of course even Manfred's Enforcer. You know, those use the formula and just turn it up to 11 so much more awesome. You know, they're much better games. R-Type is playable, but it's flawed. And I will stand by that. Alright. Now we're coming up to Triceratops, so let's see if we can do it. This is ultimately where the biggest bugs are. Just, you know, you've got to be really careful to take him out. I know that's not quite coin-op accurate. Again, you've just got to deal with the fact that the biggest problem I have, though, is not that it's not 100% accurate. Ah, got him. It's more that with his tail, if you're not quick enough, the tail to take him out, like if I didn't do that quickly, the tail sometimes can get locked up, and when he starts moving towards you, then it's guaranteed kill. That's a bigger design problem to me. Anyway, stage 1 is done. We're now on stage 2. Again, you know, scrolling is smooth. Great music again. Probably shouldn't have got that speed up. I'm trying to get the lasers where I can. Ah! Terrible move there. Alright, at least we'll get a laser. And a speeder. I would love to get up to the spaceship. I still love that concept in R-Type, you know. Like, oh, what a stupid move. Like, I love that concept of, you know, that level 3 spaceship where you've got to just go through and tear it apart bit by bit. See if I can get there, but I don't think so. I always mess this level 2 boss up. I've not got any power-ups yet. This is, other than the speed, this is, oh boy. I feel like I just want to switch on auto-fire. So I'm going to switch on auto-fire. Because I'm sure I would have seen some force pods. There we go! Force pod! Except, of course, it's only just, I hate when that happens and it latches on behind. Alright. Detach it. No! Come on, detach in front! Alright. Oh, come on. Oh, that was close. I mean, for 6 weeks, you got to be impressed. I mean, I haven't seen any massive sprite flicker, you know, multiplexing, you know, any sprite multiplexing problems. I haven't seen any of that stuff, you know. You know, it's polished. It's just got its bugs, for sure. You know, let's see if we can just hammer that. Wait for the eye to open. Get down. There we go. Oh, can we do it? I'm always going to fan out on the SID music on this game. Great music. Chris Hillsbeck did a great job. Oh, Ramiro. Come on, come on. Open that eye. Yes! We did it! Stage 2 down. Alright. And here comes the battleship. Alright. Ground laser, which makes sense so we can track the... Yeah. Although I feel a little ineffective. Oh! Damn it, that's not good. Okay. Get that force pod in front. I tend to not be good at releasing the force pod. I tend to use it as a... Oh, no. Okay. There we go. R-Type on the 64. I at least got to the battleship. I just didn't do it as well as I'd like. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you learned something about, you know, this conversion. I hope you consider it in a second line. I should be honest. I would love if someone did R-Type Arcade like with Commando or Ghosts and Goblins Arcade, or that new version of Bomb Jack that's in development. I'd love to see them improve this as well. I'd be really excited if they did. But yeah, hope you learned something. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.